It's a little cold in here. We were gone for a couple hours and left the heat on, but still cooled. It got really cold outside.
Guess that's what happened.
So we are live. Yeah, they're all saying a quarter after I'm supposed to be here. Well, we're here.
We're here. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday night. Welcome to the stream. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my channel on YouTube at Kim Fixes Things. But you have found the Buff Del Campo channel. And you already know that because you're here like exactly on time. We're here with your host, Buff Del Campo. And wow, the gang's all here, rolling in fast. Let's see. Patrick got the first comment in. Oh, and Olive was so close. But Patrick, you got the first comment. I'm awarding you 3 points. I'm awarding Olive one for being
so close.
Oh, razor close. KJ Kiley is here. Welcome to the stream. Dean Stevenson, Hippie Long. Bruce Culchin. Clayton's Toolbox, welcome to the stream. Buddy Carafano, welcome to the stream. I see Mike N was in here earlier. Tim
Inspector Bruce
was here. Okay, yeah, Inspector Bruce was here.
Is it Yunes? Is that like a Pittsburgh thing?
It is. I believe
he's from California.
Actually, Yunes and Yins is different.
Oh, okay, because he's a California guy.
It's
But he lived all, he and I were in the Air Force together, so he lived all over.
Did I miss anybody? 38 Racing is here. JB is here. Crashes Roadrunner Garage is here. Oh, missed us on Tuesday, but here now. Well, I'm sorry you missed us, but you're
here now.
Yeah. Like it. This is more personable because we're just in the shop and relaxed. We're not doing that a big official green screen thing.
38 Racing, something I didn't know till John's live, is he's one-handed right now because he's got some kind of tendon or something healing back together. Some kind of surgery on his hand, so he's trying to edit with one hand. And we're trying to warm up. It actually cooled off in here a little bit. We had the fire really roaring, and we went to eat and came back, and yeah.
Gearhead 6971 says, "Remember to smash the like button."
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody, although I didn't go in exact order.
Well, behind you, they can see a hood up, but you can see it's not a dart.
It's not a dart. You know why? Because the dart did start.
Buff, don't go one-handed until next Friday. Oh, you don't go one-handed till next Friday? Oh, man. Aunt D, hello?
Welcome to the stream.
Aunt D's usually in John's.
Did everybody have a good week? I'm glad you're all here. I hope that means you had a good week. We survived at least, right? We have been piling. I went to I want to say lumberyard, but that's wrong. The sawmill and got sawmill scraps. Man, I loaded my van. Now, my van has essentially a 9-foot bed. From the back of the seats to the door is 9 feet. I stacked it up like yo high the whole way, and like I was standing on the trailer hitch and it still had just a little bit of, and I was like, yeah, that's probably enough. So big pile of wood. So we have just been feeding it into the stove, keeping this place warm.
Oh, Dean Stevenson, sometimes I do laugh at the stuff you say. And D. A D is a degree.
My zipper's down again. Why is my zipper always down?
Because that pair of pants that does that.
Don't have a zipper stop.
That pair of pants needs a zip tie to hold the zipper up.
It does. Dang.
So a D is a degree. You ever think about that? Like you're in a dentist or a doctor or something. You go, this person may have passed with a D. Got the degree.
Yeah, like you're at the doctor's office and they might have got a D.
They might have got a D. Dave the Rave.
All 8 inches of snow is just about melted. Oh, that's good. It was warm enough today that snow melted if there was
Oh,
any.
there
There
wasn't
really
any.
wasn't any left
But you
because
know what? I walked back over here from the house. There's frost on the ground.
it got
It
cold
got
real
cold. It got
fast.
cold real fast. It was nice today. It was nice enough. The fox body was warm inside. I was afraid of, it's vinyl seats. I was afraid of cracking those things if I sat on it. But I opened up the door. It was warm in there from the sun. So started it up and drove it up here. Pulled it in.
Oh, I'll go get a chunk of that wood so you can see what it looks like.
And now you can see the front of something besides the Dodge Dart.
Yeah.
Gearhead. Good evening. My week went okay. Started a new double bathroom remodel. Wow.
Nice. If you have any questions, I was a plumber for a long time. Yeah. So it's actually like a pallet mill. So like these are all like cutoffs, and it's good seasoned like hardwood. Like it's fantastic. It gets hot quick. We just keep feeding it in there.
How's the wood burner doing over there? Is it starting to warm up?
Not as fast as I had hoped.
Yeah, I put a lot of wood in there. Like
It
put
won't take.
like
All of a
put
sudden it'll be.
Yeah, all of a sudden it'll be going. Yeah, 38 Racing says nice change of scenery. I brought it up here to put a heater core in it, but it was hard to start because we hadn't started in 2 months and it was cold. So I think it was just getting fuel up to the carburetor, but then it wouldn't go till I warmed it up. There's no choke that's working on it.
Oh, it was really
So we got it up here. Kim couldn't help herself. She had to pull the carburetor off of it.
that carburetor's in bad shape.
So the carburetor's in bad shape. We knew that, but once it's warmed up, it drives along nicely. Aunt D grabbed 3 more pallets from work today for my stove today. Yeah, that's what we're burning is drops from a pallet place.
I mean, I paid $20 for a truckload of wood scraps.
Yeah, they said
that's like the best deal ever.
$20 and you fill your truck up. So you did.
There was a literal mountain of wood.
Mike N says pallet mills have tons of scrap pieces that are good firewood. Man, we found that out. We've got a lot of firewood now. Woman across the road and up a little ways had some trees that were dying, and she had some people cut them down. So we got all that. And then Dean says Frank Zappa was a plumber too. Dave the Rave says I use blocks like that for stands. Oh, we got enough of them.
We got some of them for stands too.
We got enough of those for a year of heat. And I don't know what else. KJ Kylie, polar blast, global warming is over. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
What's global climate change?
Well, you know what? That last year, 2 years ago, it was below zero here, which was everybody around here. Oh, this is the first time since '83 that it got this cold. Well, then the next year it got that cold again, and this year it didn't get below zero, but it got down to single digits for a day, 2 days, maybe. Now, I guess 2 days, which is still unusual for here. But I'm hoping this will be the end of it. Kim, I smell gasoline.
Well, that's me touching the carburetor.
Okay, because we have a wood stove going in here. What do we got? How much gasoline?
Not enough to start a fire.
Okay. And we're a long distance from the wood stove.
Hardly enough to blow my nose.
Again, there was a place in Atlanta where you could get as much as you wanted for free. They just piled it on the curb, and people would come and get truckloads. Yeah, there's a place here. It's up in Kentucky, and we can. They want $20, but that's okay. $20 for that much.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
That's like if you go to the grocery store, they have little bundles. I think with like 3 little pieces of split wood for
$5 or $6 or
$8.99 or something.
$7. What? You know what? I can't do this on this.
It's too cold.
No, it'll shake.
Oh, on that. Oh yeah, it'll shake the. Yeah, you go over there working on this table where the camera is.
Okay, you gotta make me some.
Okay, now I gotta move.
Just a little.
Okay, I gotta move.
You can
Kim's going to try to work right here, which is good.
Yeah, you guys want to see, don't you? We have the other. Here, show them on the other camera. Show them the car.
Oh, I didn't know you had the other. You had the.
If you guys have never seen this car, not everybody has seen the other car.
Oh, that didn't do
no,
anything.
it's over in the middle here, right underneath you.
Oh, what'd you do? You moved it. Yeah, there's the Zephyr carburetorless.
Mm-hmm.
It's missing a bank of cylinders, isn't it? I don't know. We seem to have 6 cylinders.
6. Huh?
So it did drive up here from the house, but it wouldn't go at first. Every time I put in gear, it just quit.
It was being a fussy thing.
Yeah,
huh?
it was being real fussy because it didn't have a choke. So, and it was cold out there. So, I had to let it warm up just to get it up here.
Yeah.
And then it came up here.
I don't know. It was pretty bad, even for.
So what's the next project? Okay, this Zephyr does not have a heater. Or it has a heater, but it's bad.
Look what's coming out of the fuel filter.
Oh.
See that?
Nastiness. Oh yeah, that's bad. Yeah, so we need to. Yeah, what she's got coming out of the fuel filter is looks like real fine sand.
Oh, and it's getting worse too now.
So what the plan was to put a heater core in this, but then Kim took the carburetor off of it, so I guess we'll get the
because it runs like garbage.
We'll get the carburetor fixed first.
Oh, they can't see because it's
you
not
got the wrong.
us.
You're showing the wrong camera.
Show us.
Okay, show us. Okay.
Sorry,
Scene 1. Okay, now you can show them. I forgot which camera I had.
I don't think they can see anyways. You won't see. I'll have to spill it on the floor before you see it.
Debbie Long says trans oil was full for at least an hour. Yeah, it's got an external trans cooler too, so that probably never get. Yeah, it has a Texas inspection sticker. It's outdated now. Andy, I've got a few of those carburetors. Had a 78 and an 81 Fairmont with a 200. I've had a bunch of Fox body Fairmonts and Zephyrs, but every one of them's either had the 4-cylinder or the 302. This is the first one I've had with a 6-cylinder, and I thought, I kind of want to put a V8 in it, but then it's a cross member, so then you got to put as Chrysler's people would say, a K-frame in it. And I don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to run it with this engine for a while. The thing runs great, other than when it's cold. I mean, it runs great. And the car is really clean. I mean, the exterior is okay, but I mean, there is not a spot of rust on this car. It came from Dallas, Texas. It was kept indoors for most of its life, so that's pretty good. And the interior's nothing short of perfect. The only thing I'm worried about is it's vinyl upholstery, and I'm afraid if it's like 20 degrees or 0 or something, I go down there and sit on it, it'll crack, and I don't want that to happen.
Well, that's how vinyl
Who's saying
works.
something about I-20 corridor? Mike N. I-20 corridor. Oh, what the Dallas? What you doing? You're looking at what those are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mike N. You can't just swap the engine for a 302. It's a cross member. Yeah, it's a different cross member. People do it. They use different engine mounts. They use different oil pans. Truck oil pan. The engine sits a little bit higher. It's like it's what I really need is like a 302 Mustang that's been flipped on its lid, or something like that. It's been crashed in the back end, but not too hard.
It's coming apart without any. Like it's.
Oh, the threads are ruined.
Look, I'm not even. No, like they're just coming right apart.
Oh, the threads are. It's really the screws are loose.
No, like they're just like new.
Oh. Kim's used to working on everything from the Northeast, from Pittsburgh and north of there, and
trash.
Where everything's rusted solid. And she's taking screws out. She goes, "Look, the screws are coming out." Yep. Let's go see. I grew up in the Southwest and in Arizona, and everything comes apart.
Man.
Buddy says, check gas tank for rust inside, clogged sock. Yeah, I don't think it's got a clogged sock
It wasn't
because
fuel starvation. It was
75 miles an hour, you stick your foot in it and go up, it'd speed
yeah.
up going uphill.
It was improper fuel metering. You could just he's revving it and then he puts it in gear and it dies. But
Hippie Long says 302 was the size limit for Trans Am back then. Actually, it was 305. So, of course, the 302s, that's all those 302s and what was a Pontiac? 303s. Yeah, it was 5 liters, is what it was. But yeah, all the Fox bodies had 302s. So, or all the V8 Fox bodies. But I'd like to, I don't know. I'm just going to drive it with a 6 in it. It'll probably go to No Name Nationals with this engine in it. 6 inline K member just has engine mount horns extended forward 4.125 inches, says Dean Stevenson. K member has engine mount horns. Are they welded in or what's the deal on it? I thought the oil pan wouldn't the V8 oil pan wouldn't fit over the top of it because the V8 oil pan has, it's got a little front sump and then a huge back sump. I figured since it's Fox Buddy that a 302 would drop right in. Yeah, it's not quite like that. I just asked, who was it I was talking to? Jim's Fastback Garage. He did one. He's got a one just like this, but it's the Ford, the last one I had. What's that thing called? Fairmont Futura, which is the same as the Z7, except this one says Mercury on it. But it's he put a 351 Windsor in his, and he was talking to me about the engine mounts he used and how little things he had to do and which oil pan and all that kind of stuff. Buddy Carafano says rust, nature's Loctite.
oh yeah.
See, Aunt D says I wound up running a Holly 1904 on it, and it worked very well. Excuse me. If it fits a 302, it will fit a 351 Windsor. Yeah, on the bottom it will, but of course the deck height's higher. And I've had Windsors before. I really like those. I think Dean Stevenson says cut the frame horns back 4.125 inches and use a Panther sump. Oh, really? Blake Gaddis is here. Good evening. Yeah, I could think of Fairmont, but I couldn't think of the model. It's a Futura. The Futura is the one that's like this shorter top, or it's like a chop top. It's lower top, and it's not so boxy looking. I kind of like this body style because I had a Fairmont Futura. Oh man, many years ago. I had my Futura. It had been crunched in the front end, not real bad, and I bought it. It was 4 years old, and I got it for $200. So, and it had a 4-cylinder Pinto engine in it. It's knock Pinto engine. I drove it for a little bit like that, put a front fender on it, and did the body work, and then pulled that engine out, and put a 302 and a C4 in it. Oh, Dean says the sump just has to clear the rack. Buff Net says V8 mounts are $140.
Oh, there you go. You can buy mounts.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't have a V8 to put in it, so well, I mean, I got a Chevy 350 sitting over there. I've threatened to put that in there, but I think there's probably people who would like that. Man, that's cold on me.
Here, hold this.
No.
Your hands in your pocket.
Yeah, I don't. My hands are in my pockets. I'm trying to stay warm. Yeah. Sorry. She wants me to hold a carburetor part. So why do you want me to hold this? You don't really want me to hold that. I set it on there on the rack. So, I got a 350 Chevy and a turbo 350 sitting over there, and I've said, the sump's in the back, we were looking at it tonight, and I'm thinking, that'd just about go right in there. Yeah. I put Chevys in Fords before, and, Kim's shaking her head.
It's like, this carburetor's not that bad.
Okay, so what's wrong with it?
I don't know. It's not that bad.
Well, part of it may just be the choke didn't work.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's not helping anything, but...
So, what I probably should do is keep my eyes open for a 351 Windsor, because I've had those and I really like them. And there's so much available for them, and then do it next year. I think what I want to do is take this to No Name Nationals with this 6-cylinder in it, and then I can race Kim with her 6-cylinder dart. And who else? Who else is coming with slant sixes? Kim's really thinking about what she's doing.
Oh, there's a flake of something in the main jet.
There's a flake of something in the main jet.
Yeah, there is. There's stuff, just enough stuff floating around there that it might.
Danny Boyd, I saw one a lot like this car with a 350 Pontiac back in the 90s. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. No, the only reason I put the Chevy in is because I got a really nice Chevy that's got no miles on it, and it's run because I heard it run, but it's never went anywhere. So, it's basically a fresh engine sitting there. But, the better thing to do would be to run it like that. It runs so nicely, and the engine sounds so good. Just take it to No Name Nationals and race some of the 6-cylinders. It'd be fun. And then next year, in the meantime, I could find a 302 or a 351, build it up. And then this has a C4 in it, so I could change the bell housing, because the bell housing on the C4 on bolts. So I could put the small block, 6-bolt bell housing on this transmission. This transmission is really nice. JG Mopar, UDX 76. Good evening. Hippie Long, let's find you a little Chevy 2 body for that engine. You know what? That engine was supposed to go in my 61 Studebaker. The one that's up behind my head, the one that lights up there, that thing. It was supposed to go in that because the whole car is here. It's just I got the front clip off of it, and I've got, it's still got a 6-cylinder Studebaker engine in it. The body on it's really nice. It's an Arizona car, so in the last 2 years, 3 years, 64, 5, and 6, or maybe it was just 65 and 66. Larks had small block Chevys in them, so that's an easy swap. But Car Final says leave the 6 in it and drive. Not every car needs to be a race car, and that's exactly right. I mean, this thing, it's a 200, so I figured it was going to be a real slug, but it wasn't. We drove it here from Texas. I mean, it wasn't fast, but it didn't pull any hill, freeway speeds, and accelerate going up the hill if you wanted, First gen Camaro or early second gen. Man, I wish I had a first gen Camaro. I've had 2 of them, but those things are worth, it's like you get them out of a gold mine now. Oh, says I guess I missed the intro. What's Kim doing on the Zephyr car? Yeah, we brought it in here to do a heater core, but it was running like crap. It was actually running well, but the choke isn't working, and it was cold, and I really had a hard time getting it up here from the house. I had to stop partway up here and let it warm up to get it up, to get it so it would really drive, because you put it in gear, it just quit. So got it in here, and Kim couldn't help herself. She had to pull the carburetor off. So Gearhead says, I saw a beautiful 67 Nova sell for 185 today on Barrett Jackson. 185, like 185 grand.
Yeah.
See, I don't really even like the 67 and earlier Novas and Chevy 2s. They look okay, but like a 68 Nova and later, I really like them. I had a 69 Nova for a while. Man, I wish I had that. But it was back in the days when I used to buy and sell cars a lot. And I sold it for double what I bought it for. So, and that was, back then. I paid $800 for it and got 16 for it. And I had it for a couple months. Enjoyed it. Dave the Rave. Old timer down here. Just passed. I lost count on 58 old cars on the property. Oh no. 60s Mustangs, Fairlanes, also some old Chargers and Dusters. Kim, what are you doing over there?
Loading some wood in the fire.
Okay, I saw you leave here smelling like gasoline, and I thought you went to where the fire is. That's why I'm a little bit worried.
No, I got rid of the gasoline.
As long as it isn't soaked in your shirt sleeves or anything.
No.
Okay. 66 and 7 two-door hardtop Nova. They look good, but I don't really like the structure under the front end. I don't know. They're all right. 68 Novas and later, 68 through 72, I really like. 73 and 74 had they looked a little different in the front end and the window line and the bumpers, so, but they're okay. It's 68 through 72, but man, when I was looking at this car for the Zephyrs and the Fairmont Futuras, I was looking at those Novas, but like a 68 through 72 Nova, my God, they want a lot of money for anything that was not rusty was like triple the money of this thing or more. Buff, there's a 67 Firebird for sale here with a Camaro front and tail on it for $6,000. Where is here? Hippie Mo. Hippie Mo. Where's Hippie Mo? I should know.
We're not going to Texas for any more cars.
Yeah, I'm not buying any more cars right now. We have a yard full of cars. This one is zero rust. I mean, absolutely not a spot, not a bubble, not a spot underneath, nothing. It's a dry Texas car. And so this is that's why I bought this car. And I've had these things before, so I felt pretty good about it. And the interior's so nice on it. The interior on this thing, looks good.
We have some things to do on it, but it's a pretty good project. Let me have this.
Dave the Rave, one Duster is a 340. Wow. Gearhead. Danny Boyd. 68 through 72 are my favorite. Yeah, the Novas you're talking about. Me too. And the generation after that, I don't really like them that much, but the 4-door I think looks better than the 2-door, if you can believe that. But I don't really want one of those. I got this. This is really what I wanted was a Fox body. I wanted to get a Mexican spec had a Mustang notchback, a bright blue one. I think he still got it for sale with the Mexican 302 and a 5-speed manual. And man, I wanted that thing, but Fox body Mustangs are in good condition are worth a fortune. I didn't have the money for it. I would have snapped that thing up, but they didn't pay me enough for my Mazda to buy that car. Dave the Ray, I would say most of projects has enough Mustangs to make a few drivers. Also, believe several Trans Am Firebirds late 70s. That's another thing out here. I've got two. The bolt-on subframes. One of them's from a Nova, I think like a 68 or 9 Nova, and the other one's from a 72, or that's wrong, 79 Trans Am. And I was actually going to build a frame off that to put the Studebaker on. So I don't know. I'm getting old. I got a lot of projects, and the bad thing about getting old is you think of projects faster than you can build them. I'm not getting any faster. Let's see here. JB. Oh, JB. I agree. I like the 4-doors. Yeah, the Novas. Hey, JB, that car you found, we got it here in the shop. Here,
Here she is.
I'm gonna flip the camera here for a second.
I finally got my dart running and out of the damn
See,
way.
there it is. Kim had to pull the carburetor on.
Poor Buff, he had to wait all this time to get his car in there because I had mine blocking all the way.
The plan was to come back from No Name Nationals and bring this car in. No, the plan was to come back from. Oh, here we go. We got ads. 60 seconds. So our plan was to bring do the aluminum car on the Spitfire frame.
Yeah.
But she had a leak, a bad oil leak. So we go, okay, we'll fix the oil leak first.
I would have just set my dart off to the side and forgot about it. But you were injured in that accident.
Oh yeah, I was.
You were beat up.
My neck's still messed up.
You were beat up. So I just figured I'd bring it in and look at it. Well, then it.
Let's see here. JG Mopar says 66 and 7 Novas are my favorites. I can understand why. I mean, I like the way they look. It's just I don't like the structure a whole lot. I like the structure of the first gen Camaros and those 60 8 and newer Novas a lot. I really like those. When they came out when they were new, I thought it was really Mickey Mouse. Have these. Oh, here are the ads. Oh, wait. Maybe the ads are over. Maybe they clicked out of. Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying now. 68 Novas came out. I really thought it was goofy, that front end that was held onto like a back half unibody and a front half frame with 4 bolts. But after I had a few of them, I really liked them, and I had several of them, and I had a couple of first gen Camaros, and man, what nice cars to drive, you know. See Patrick Sullivan. I had a '77 Nova with an inline six, bought for $75. Had busted leaf spring. He couldn't afford the estimate to repair. Man, Danny Boyd, a kid at my high school in an '82, had a '66 or '67 Nova two door in that tropical turquoise color with Corvette style rally wheels. It was an inline six, 3 on the tree. Yeah, but I bet it looked good. I really like the body style. I just don't like the structure underneath so much. Uh, Gearhead says just something else about him. JG clean looking. Mike N. Any high performance upgrades in store for the 6-cylinder on the Zephyr? The 6-cylinder on a Zephyr, sadly, is that style 6-cylinder. The intake manifold is part of the head, and there are ways to machine that off and put 3 1-barrels on it. But then the ports are really small, and you can't really do much about it. I guess I could put a turbo on it, or just leave it the way it is. The guy that I got this from bought a set of headers for it, and they're brand new. They're still in the plastic bag in the trunk, so I guess I could put headers on it. So I don't know. Yeah, make it breathe a little better. It's a pleasant car to drive the way it is. Danny Boyd saw off the intake log and clamp on 6 motorcycle cars. I've thought about stuff like that. Yeah, I used to do a lot of Rotax engines with Bing carburetors on them, and we did a Honda engine one time, and I put 2 Bing carburetors on it, and it ran really well. Let's see here, uh, Johnny C. I may be in the minority, but I don't have the desire for speed as I did in my youth. I really love my Malibu 6, just cruise. You know, I'm the same way. I I really liked those fast cars back then, but you know, it'd be fun to go out, stick my foot in it, and go like crazy. But uh, this is nice to drive the way it is. I don't mind it. Hit Danny Boyd, hit me long. I've thought of that before, kind of over the top. Seems to be the Australian way of hot rodding. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, my throat's gonna give me trouble here. Uh, Dave Reed's ads. What ads? Yeah, I do have ads turned on. The way that I had to do it, the least I could put was every half hour. So they're set for every half hour. And I think you can click out of them. And if you don't have ads, I don't know why. Maybe you have a blocker or something. Then we don't get paid. Let's see what's going on. Danny Boyd 68 Nova was the last with the ignition switch on the dash. Oh yeah, because mine was a 69. It was on the column.
Something clogging there.
Kim's finding clogs in the carburetor. 38 Racing. I learned to drive in a 62 Chevy 2 wagon. Top speed out of the 194 was 103. Downhill with a tailwind.
Dang.
Yeah, it might have gone that fast. Danny Boyd retracted message. Okay. Gearhead. Chevy 2 wagons are nice. Yeah, that's the thing about the first gen Chevy 2s and Novas is they had wagons, and the second gen did not. You know. Tavo's here. Good evening.
Welcome to the stream, Mr. Tavo.
How's your hand doing?
How's the weather down there?
Danny Boyd, 6 single barrel carbs.
Do you know how difficult that would be to balance?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like it would be
Yeah,
tough.
but the bad thing is the ports are so small. It's like why bother? And they're, you can't really do much of a port job on them because you go through in the water jackets. I mean, I've read all about them, and it's really kind of the head you need comes from Australia. There's one in Australia that has a bolt-on intake, so it's a different thing.
Yeah, but for that you could
But
just
that's in
buy.
Australia, you know,
For the price of all that, you could just buy.
or just enjoy it the way it is.
Mm-hmm. This gas came
Digi
out.
Mopar. I was the lone Mopar at work. One guy had a 65 Malibu, another 65 El Camino, and the guy with the 68 Nova. I would park my 68 Coronet in the middle of them. In high school, I graduated from high school in 72, so my driving days in high school, like 70, 71, 72, all spoiled rich kids had brand new Chevelles. And a couple of them had Camaros. A couple of them had first gen Camaros, which at the time were almost new. And then uh, a lot of them had 55, 6, and 7 Chevys, which were inexpensive at the time. But I wasn't much of a Chevy guy, and I had a '64 Ford. Man, this chat's going fast. I may not be able to respond to everybody. So anyway, I had a '64 Ford, and then I had a couple of '56s and a '55 Ford, and I had a couple of friends that had Fords, but most of the car guys were Chevy guys. I don't know if anybody had Mopars. Somebody may have. And my auto shop teacher, he was a Chevy guy. He had a '65 Corvette. He had I think a '56 Chevy. Oh, and then he had a bullet nose Studebaker. It's kind of interesting. Tim says you could put that 350 in the Spitfire. No. You ever looked at a Spitfire frame?
I mean, you can, but I don't think it's gonna. No, can't really.
Oh, it says top speed can sometimes just be about gearing and patience. JB, mom had a '69 Nova with the 153 when I was born. Really? Really? I like those things. Got rear-ended by a moving truck when I was about 8 weeks old. Oh, shit. Oh, I really like the 153, and they're so hard to find now. Tommy Hanlon's here. Hello from Dublin. We survived the storm. Oh, you had a storm up there as well, huh? Danny Boyd, I wonder if a Beamer head will fit on it. Why bother? Put the whole Beamer engine in it. Uh, Talo, hey, all hand is doing well. Using it almost as normal. A little wary at times. Too hot to be outside today. Going to be a few degrees warmer tomorrow. Well, you've got the opposite problem of us. It's too cold to be outside. Although it's supposed to be up
It's too
to
cold to be in the
it's
shop.
supposed to be in the low 50s Fahrenheit tomorrow, which would be that'd be a warm day for us this time of year. 38 Racing Olive. I have no idea what the RPM is turning. Okay, Johnny C. I have an '05 Mustang GT. They've never really given her the beans. Owned since new. Think she would go into shock if I did it now. Tomorrow's her 20th birthday. Man, I can't believe '05's already 20 years old. That's amazing. I really like '05 Mustangs. I like the looks of them because they remind me of the '60s Mustangs. And I was kind of looking for one. I needed a driver, so I quit looking. But I was looking for like an '05, '6, or '7 Mustang with a bad engine, transmission, something like that. And but I really needed something that runs. Also, sometimes you might as well go with a V8 if you want much more than a 6 gives you. Road
That's what
Anchor
I'm
Buff,
saying.
did you ever have a Malibu? I did. Oh, not an SS. I had a '66 Malibu and I had a '67 Malibu. And I had some El Caminos.
Oh, that was a convincing clog.
What's that? What is it? I don't see what you got.
You can't. It's
Oh, it looks like your fingernails.
yeah, but I pushed a little like turd out of that little
She's
tiny
pushing
port.
turds out of my carburetor.
All right. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that, and you definitely shouldn't have repeated it.
Dean Stevenson says, Aaron, I don't know what that is. It's Ireland with record-breaking winds. Oh, you had winds over there. Oh, I heard about that from somebody that's a pilot. They had bad winds over there. Hippie Long says, sinking carbs is easy. 16 years ago, my first instruction video I ever watched on YouTube walked me right through perfectly. You know, I put Bing carburetors on a Honda 4-cylinder, and it worked great. In fact, we put that engine in an aircraft, and it was a nice run. It was a nice airplane. You get a 4-cylinder in the Nova till 69 or 70. Yeah, you know what else that was available? And my parents bought a 1965 Chevy van, and they got the 6-cylinder, but they could have got the 4-cylinder in a Chevy van. You know, one that has the engine between the seats. Topping the ton at over 100 miles an hour. Oh my God. Towel says slant 6 the swap the Zephyr. Yeah, we were joking about that. But I don't think I'd do it. Tommy Hanlon, hey Dean, record winds down south, but East Coast was okay. Patrick Sullivan, Tavo, that's good to hear. I burnt my hand on a popcorn skillet. Thought nothing of it. Got infected and bundled up like a mummy. Oh no. JB 1970. Dan, hers was a 69. Got hot on Salem Avenue at the Salem Mall.
Okay, this
Dean Stevenson, I left 6 hours ago. ESB says some people will face a week without power falling. Girl, is there a reason for that? Light in my office?
Yes. All right, here it goes. You guys will be able to see this.
Okay, I'm gonna miss some chat here.
See the crud in there?
Okay, Kim, you're getting a light not in the carburetor. You're getting it in my off face. There.
See the crud in the bottom of there? Just that one.
Oh, they can see it now. Yeah, look at that.
Here, take a look.
I saw it. I saw it in the camera.
Oh, okay.
It really well.
Up?
Yeah, really well. I could see it in the camera.
It's pretty good. Bad.
Okay, I missed some chat. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Just say how little things get affected. It was also JB. It was also used in the Kaiser Jeeps of the era. Oh. Didn't they use that 4-cylinder 153 in some boats as well? Get engine and rear from Explorer. 302 8.8 disc rear. You know, what's the deal with the Explorer with the rear end? Is it the right width? Is everything in the right place, or don't you have to move some parts around on the rear end, like weld stuff you got to unweld? I don't know. I've got to look into that.
It doesn't seem like it could possibly be the same.
Dean Carey, Cork. Yeah, Dean Carey and Cork got bad. Those are places in Ireland.
Wow, I hope you guys are okay. That's
in Ohio. There's a place called Cork too. Not Cork too, Cork as well.
Cork also. Yeah.
Good. No, just Red and Puffy got treated pretty quick. JB, mom had a DJ5 with the 153 when she started delivering mail. Oh, one of those. Oh, I have a very rare English motocross bike, Sachs 125, runs a big carb. You know, a lot of Rotax engines had big carbs, and I got real good at making those. They're pretty simple carbs, just making them work right. You know? Okay, I'm going to skip down some of this. Patrick says, all gunked up. 38. V have ways of making you talk. V have ways of making you talk, bro. Oh, that's probably when the light was in my face.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Aaron, slant 6 in the Zephyr, thrift power in the dark.
Just do it just to do it, is what he's saying. Not for any real reason.
Well, it's like, I had a 69 Dart that ran around with slant at it for a while back in, this is 1980. And it had 325,000 miles, a smoky engine. And I pulled it out, and I had a Pontiac Iron Duke that basically brand new. Okay, no, a brand new car that was right. Had 2,200 miles on it. And I put the Pontiac Iron Duke and the Turbo 200 in the 69 dark. Then I had to crank the torsion bars down because it's set way up in the front end. So I cranked it down to level. And you open up the hood on it, and there's an air cleaner. It said, "Keep your GM vehicle all GM." It's kind of funny, but it ran fine. I drove that thing. I don't know. I drove it for a couple of years at least, and then my friend Carl had it, and he drove it around for quite a while, and then he sold it to somebody. Wish I had that car. I didn't realize the 153 came in those vans. Yes, 153 was the standard engine in the vans, although, I mean, I've read it in all the brochures, but I've never seen one. Johnny C, once that's cleaned out, it'll run super smooth.
Oh yeah,
JB, the
that's
Brookville Post Office finally got a few LLVs around 1991. What? Look, that came out of the carburetor?
yeah. There's more too.
She
So.
says there's more of this crapple in there.
Yeah, it was probably stirring up and getting into jets.
KJ Kylie, trinkets in the float bowl. Gallo says more turds than he's pushing out.
Yeah.
Patrick Sullivan, I'm on an antibiotic. And Silverdine, antibiotic because of the. Oh,
I'm sorry, Patrick.
38 Racing, most Explorers have limited slips and decent gears. And what about I guess the suspension's similar, but don't you have to move around some mounts, and are they too wide? I don't know. I've heard a lot of people use them. I was looking for hopefully find a Mustang that's been flipped on its lid, get the front cross member and everything. But really, do I really want to do that to this car? It's so nice the way it is, I don't know if I'm scanning through this. I'm looking to see if boat anchor's still here. The other thing I want to do is after we put the heater in this, get the dash all back together, I want to put my CB radio in it. And I know that's kind of like an old boomer thing to do, but you know what? There's a few of us that are going to be at No Name Nationals, the CB radios. I think it'd be kind of cool. And when Kim and I go down the road, we're using these things to communicate. When we're going down the road, if we have to talk to each other, it's either the phone or these things. But these things, man, a quarter mile is a stretch,
Yeah,
But
they're no
CB
good.
radio, you could get 10 miles apart and still talk, Let me see here. Patrick, my girlfriend burned her hand real bad on a deep fryer back in the 90s.
Oh,
Same antibiotics and silver. Yeah.
that's
Shop cat.
the most dangerous thing about burns is the risk of infection.
Shop Cat Industries. Good evening. Later on Klep's Garage, Bruce calls me out over my love of torque specs, which is ironic given the events of my video. Patrick Sullivan. That was my first live stream of John Wilburn.
Oh, okay.
He right on top of those chats. Yeah, he is. He's better at it than I am.
Yeah, he follows it. That's his
I'm
deal.
trying to pay attention to the carburetor a little bit. Hippie Long, is that 153 cubic inches? Oh, which is that? The Pontiac Iron Duke is 151. Very similar engine in the bottom end, but it's a crossflow head, so it's a little different. But it's a derivative of that 153. I don't know if that's the question you're asking. Sometimes the chickens teach the hens. Dean Stevenson. Danny Boyd. Hippie Long, yes, maybe even a cut down 6. Dave the Rave, I know a guy. Shot Cat Industries. Dean Stevenson, not really. It's pretty hilarious. 38 Racing, some things are worth the effort to swap the 8.8 into. See, that would be okay, and then I'd have to change the front hubs too, and I don't know what I have to do up there. And the good thing about that is I'd have the 5-lug wheels, and I could then all of a sudden there's a myriad of wheels I could use because this is, it's got the 4-lug small, whatever these are, 14-inch wheels. Not really a good thing. So that's really why I'd want to change all that. Patrick Sullivan, it's good, Kim. Thanks. It was just a comment to Tavo to make it a huge deal. I don't know. Boat Anchor, CB. Yep, I'm here. Okay, yeah. I've got that CB sitting there next to it's sitting on a shelf in my bedroom, and I keep looking at it. and that's where my computer is. And every time I'm in there looking at videos, I'm glancing down at the CB. So I'm looking forward to putting it in this thing. And now it's like, what antenna? I used to like the big 8-foot whip in the middle of the, or 9-foot whip, whatever it is, in the middle of the roof. But I'm not going to do that to this car. I'm thinking about a set of. There's some fairly short, co-phased gutter mount antennas that are made by. Uh, I am with names. I can't remember anything. So I thought about that. I don't know. That way I don't have to drill any holes in it. JB, Hippie, 153 4-cylinder offered in GMs in the 60s. Yep. Can you still get a decent rebuild kit for that car? I don't know, probably. I don't know. Kim's not paying attention.
Luckily, I don't need anything.
She says it looks like the gaskets are probably okay. She's just getting all, as she says, the turds out of it.
Yeah, I might get away with just that. I mean, it's not going to get worse than it was, I'll tell you that.
They really don't forget the 6-foot whip antenna. There's a 6-foot. It's the one that I have some around here that they're 102 inches. So, yeah, I had one right in the center of the roof of my 64 Ford, and man, that was a talking thing. But that's always the best one because the quarter wave, not a loaded antenna. It's pretty nice, but it's around here. In Tennessee, they run electric wires too low. They swoop them across people's yards, and yeah, I know I'll catch that on somebody's wires going into their home, and I don't want to do that. So,
no, that'll be regrettable.
I did have a set of. I can't think of what the name of those co-phased antennas were on my Matador, my 74 Matador, and those work really well. And they're kind of directional off the front and the back of the car. They act kind of like, because they're on both sides, they kind of block going this way, and they kind of, the ground plane makes it like a oval out front of you and behind you. So they talk going down the road really well. So, and they clip on the gutter, so you don't drill holes in the car. I don't know. It's my car. I wouldn't mind drilling holes, but I kind of like, I don't know. Somebody get mad at me for that. Mike M, what kind of CB? Old AM SSB or new? No, I have a new FM one. I still have it. It made it through the crash. So I've thought about getting another FM one and put it in another car, and then putting the FM one in this one, so that Kim and I can talk down the road on FM, because that'd be nice. Because then when all the skips rolling, you can still hear each other a little bit. But no, I got one from Boat Anchor. That's Boat Anchor. Tell them what it is. I can't think of what it is. It's an older AM SSB, and it's got some. And he put new caps in it, and it's got some other channels. It's expanded below 40. So it's a pretty interesting radio. And I could just set that up in the house and run it like a base station. I would enjoy that too. But I got a good base station, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to get back into that. I'm kind of going to enjoy it, Dean Stevenson, it was a tall deck and had different timing, chain, and cam spacing. Oh, I don't know what that's about. Okay. Tommy Hanlon, yep. Weak in the burns unit due to coolant. Ooh. I've been burnt by coolant a few times, but never ended up with severe burns. When I had my first radiator shop, I went out. A guy came in right at 5 o'clock. It's one of those hot summer days, and I walked out there, and he opened up the hood. It was hot, and I reached over. I wanted to take the cap off of it, but you can't do that because there's pressure. And I grabbed the top hose and just squeezed the hose to see how much pressure was in it. And the upper hose popped off, and I saw like an 1.25 inch stream of green coolant coming straight at me. I couldn't get out of the way fast enough, but I had a water hose right there, and as soon as I got hit, I grabbed the water hose that had a squeezing on the end of it and just soaked myself immediately. And I got some of it on me, and I had a little redness, but that's all. Yeah, Boat Anchor, I was looking at that. The Wilson 1000 mag mount. You had me talking. You were talking me out of 5,000. You know what I had on my Mazda was a K40. That was a magnet mount. It worked okay, but it got sliced right off in that crash. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I really want a mag mount again. I think the advantage of the mag mount is when you park the car, you can pull it off. The disadvantage, you got that wire flopping around out there, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I remember how well those co-phased antennas work. Who makes the good co-phased antennas? I can't think of the names of anything. Oh, Kim, it's not getting warm in here.
No, it's not.
Okay,
You getting
Kim,
enough from this?
not much. Kim, can you take care of the chat for a couple of minutes?
Sure.
Although they're talking about CBs, I kind of want to do that, but
What do you want me to?
JG Mopar, and he's a CB guy too. I met JG Mopar in 390 Wagon Master. That's a CB radio live stream and uh, and videos.
You make friends all over on the internet. It's
Yeah, we got a few
cool.
people in here. I think Boat Anchors also. Grant, is that who made that? Grant, not sure. Who else makes a set of co-phased antennas? Shit, I can't think. JG Mopar, I have to call it a night. Have a wonderful weekend. Yeah, good night. Yeah, take care. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for coming in.
Fire Stick's a good fiberglass. I got 3 Fire Sticks. You know where I got Fire Sticks? Um, what's his name gave them to me? Uh, uh, yeah, Dr. Art. Dr. Art, and he gave me a CB radio too, but it's an old AM. What's important to me? Rain. You know what? I like going down the road, low profile. Man, I would normally say no, but it's becoming that way because of the wires and the low hanging stuff around here, trees and everything. So, and I don't want something to put on the back of the car or down real low like a whip on the rear bumper or something, because that's just the wrong place for it. Hustler. That's what I'm thinking of. Hustler. Yeah, Hustler makes a set of co-phased antennas. That's what I had on my Matador 50 freaking years ago. I had Hustler co-phased antennas, but they make a set now it's got a bigger load on it. It's a little bit shorter. I wish they still made the ones I had on my Matador, but they don't. And I've thought about buying a set of those Hustler co-phased and putting them on here. For one thing, they're gutter mounts, so I won't be hurting anything on the car. But then I got to ground them somehow. I'm not sure those gutters are grounded well. Okay, I have to walk away from here and go tend the fire for a minute.
Okay, go ahead and tend the fire.
Please pay attention to chat. Oh, where'd I put my gloves?
Now it's like a job. I have to talk to all my friends. Sorry for ignoring everybody.
This thing's not warm at all.
Hi, Olive. Mike. Patrick Sullivan. Oh, JG Mopar had to go. KJ Kylie is here. The ex-wife. Oh, man.
Kim hasn't been paying attention at all.
I haven't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up. Ranger rotors in front gives you 5. Oh. Well, wait a minute. Can we put the rotors on these spindles? We have a 2-wheel drive Ranger. It's a what was it, an 89, 88 Ranger? Will those rotors go on these spindles? Somebody help me out there. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
No, she's thinking about the carburetor.
Oh, I am new. Dr. Go! Hello? Mrs. Go, hi!
Dr. Go's here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were looking for him in John's chat earlier, but he wasn't there.
Oh, what were they looking for?
Oh, they were just saying something about him. I don't remember because I was like half paying attention.
Uh-oh. They were talking about you
But they said, well, he isn't here tonight.
on John's live, Dr. Go. Crash's Roadrunner Garage is leaving. Gotta go, good night. All right, well, hopefully we'll see you another time. We're just out here having fun, trying to get some stuff done on another car, a different car for a change. Boy, it feels nice
swap the camera.
Oh, okay. I'm going to swap the camera so you can see the other car. That's what we're working on. There was all kind of like mud. It's weird. It's like literal dirt in the carburetor. It's not rust. It's like dust turned to mud in the fuel and then settled in the carburetor. That's what it looks like.
Well, we'll have to put another filter on it, obviously.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but you got to get the junk out first. I don't know what this thing is. Well, anyways, Buddy Carfano says, I remember doing it. Ranger rotors bolted to Fairmont spindle.
Well, that sounds really good.
There you go.
Oh, what about the whole rotor with the hub? You mean with the 5-lug hubs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, then I got to find an 8.8 rear end for this thing. That'd be nice. Kim, we've just come up 100 degrees since I've been over.
Well, we could get another one of those 7.5s like I put in my car.
Oh, I don't know. Why would I want to do that? I guess it's a 6-cylinder.
Well, 3, 4, 5 gears would probably work real good.
Well, and the other thing they were talking about the those what do you call them? The Explorer rear ends, the 8.8s that are Pozzies. You know, they're limited slip, whatever they call them. You know how nice that would be. You know how wet the lawn gets out here, and you can't even drive your car across the lawn.
Yeah. We could just steal the 411 gears out of the back of the Bronco too. They're talking about antennas. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm headed over there. Hang on, I'm trying to get this thing. I got to get this thing set up.
I don't know nothing about antennas.
Just read it. I'll hear it.
One whips and numbers. Quarter wave.
Numbers and whips and quarter waves.
102 whip.
102.
11 meter tuned.
If you want the best range, I'd go with a quarter wave. Yeah, a Magnum out with a 102-inch whip. That'll fly right off. Okay, Kim, you remember that antenna we built in here? I built it with 102-inch whips. It's a base station antenna that I built. I used a 102-inch whip in the middle, and then whips that coming down at an angle for the counterpoise, the ground side of it. Kim, we got a problem brewing here.
What's the problem?
Well, we got this cardboard jammed up against the heater, and it's got.
I'm taking the cardboard away.
Why?
Because you're just complaining.
It's giving us so much shit. I know, but then the floor's cold. But I guess we can get closer to the heater.
I'll find a different piece of cardboard. Right?
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I rushed away from the heater over there in a hurry, and I didn't turn the fan on. But the fan's going to blow the heat over there, so we need to move the fan.
Was it getting hot yet?
Oh, it came up when I yelled. It came up 100 degrees. It's 200 degrees hotter than it was. It's up where it belongs.
Good.
But I'm going to go back over there for a minute. Okay, what's good antenna for a base? I built an antenna. Kim and I built it in here, but we haven't run the coax up to it yet, or we got everything laying there. We got to put it up against the house. And the problem with putting it up against the house is big old poison ivy patch right there. This is the time of year to do it because the poison ivy's all dead. So we've got to go out there and do it. But then you know, it's 10 degrees outside. So that's a deterrent. So maybe tomorrow, when it's 50, you want to put an antenna up?
Sure, you've been waiting for ages to do it.
Oh, I got to clean up a mess, and
You're not going to do that.
that's not going to get done that quickly.
But we could put the antenna up, and then that would just be like wait until you.
Okay, what's good? Okay, Tom, taking him a while to put that accordion in the stove. Accordion? Oh, because it's good for street takeovers. Who wants an orange whip? What's that? Like an LOL. Antenna chat is like the bat signal for a buff. A Yagi. Well, yeah, a Yagi, but then you need a rotor or something to turn it. And then a Yagi, you can put it on horizontal or on vertical, and for doing skip and everything, the horizontal's probably good. But, the old Moonraker antennas had both. It was like two Yagis like this, and you could switch them from horizontal to vertical. Man, all this comes back. A dipole. Yeah, dipole. You know what a dipole, I guess. There's so many antennas.
Check this out. This is more dirt.
Oh, geez, that came out of the carburetor.
Yeah, that was in the bottoms of the bowls.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, it'll be better.
Let's see.
It's like mud. It's like dirt, not like it's not rust.
Okay, let's see.
Weird.
Mike N says they make 7 to 8 foot mag mount whips. It will stick. Oh my God. Yeah, that'll hit everything. We're in Tennessee. I can't even drive my van across the yard because I've got a rack up there to put like a lumber rack, and it'll take the wires right out. The wires that come down from the power pole, it'd take them right out. That wouldn't even be up to code other places I live. Those wires come down like swoop down like this across my yard. I've talked to them about it. Nah, that's normal. Well, okay. Let's see. I have a tower next to the house. Oh yeah, you said you have a tower there already. Used back in the day for analog TV antenna. Be ideal for CB base station. I think it was 390 Wagon Master last night. They were talking to people in Hawaii, and there were guys on there that were talking to people in Australia from the U.S. I mean, the conditions are good right now. Man, we get a whole lot of antenna stuff in here. I made a dipole tune for a 10 meter when I had a 10 meter rig, but I discovered it really pulls in the TV over the air channels like no other. See, I had a dipole years ago, and I used it just for shortwave listening. It worked great. J-pole. Yeah, there's a lot of people build them. Rick Shea, good evening. How you doing? Rick Shea's here. He says Area 50.
Stream, Rick.
Area 51. Well, see, he and I were he lives out there he lives near Area 51. We were going to get in my Corvette when I had it, and we just never did. It's something we just never got around to, and drive out to Rachel, Nevada, which is a place on the backside of Area 51, and they've got, the little alien inn. It's just this little tiny place out in the desert. Rick, we got to do that sometime. We'll come out there in the Fox Body or something. Got to go out to Area 51, go see the little alien. Man, I'm getting too old. I gotta get this stuff done while I'm young. So many different antenna choices. Yep. Oh yeah. And the more I get online and look at antennas, and the more I'm on the CB channels looking at antennas, the more I realize I don't know what I'm doing. I could go. I missed John Wilburn live tonight because we were watching a movie with my 89-year-old visiting mom. Oh, that's good. Wonder what you missed. Oh, it's just you probably had a better time with your 89-year-old mom because, she's 89 and she's there and you're watching a movie. That's pretty good. About 35 to 40 feet. Oh, the tower. Wow. Buddy Carafano, all wires are underground in my neighborhood to telephone poles. Yeah, where I lived in California, they eventually put everything underground. Yeah, here that's not the case. In fact, I had, what was I driving? My Mazda? I don't remember if I was in my Mazda or in my, I could have been in my, I had a Dodge Caliber for a while before the Mazda. I think I was in that, and I had a magnet mount on top, and I was driving on a interstate highway, and where the bridge went over, the bridge kind of curved like this. It was for a railroad or something. And I was in the right hand lane, and I tinged that antenna at freeway speeds on a overpass. I was like, oh man! And it wasn't a big antenna. If I'd had a 9-foot whip on there, a 102-inch whip, it would have taken the top off the car. Dean Stevenson signal is strong in our. Well, I don't know what all that is. Mike and I made a 13 element 2-meter Yagi when I was 17. Dad helped me put it on the roof on Radio Shack rotor. Man, do I miss Radio Shack. Man, do I miss Radio Shack. But how about those pilots flying fire suppression in LA? Not exactly smooth flight. Oh, man. There's a guy that does a lot of aircraft stuff. He goes by, his channel is Blanco Lirio, and his name is Juan Brown. But Juan Brown was a Air Force transport pilot. Then he flew fire suppression, and now he's flying 777 for one of the airlines. But he's once in a while he'll talk about that, and he's gone out to airports and gone over those, shown how all those airplanes work and how they don't fire retardant and all that. Pretty interesting stuff. Mike in Pahrump, Nevada, the Kingdom of Nye. Oh man, do I miss that? Every night, except one night a week. Kingdom of Nye. Yep. Yeah, I miss Art Bell a lot. Have no fear, Kim.
Oh, the Dugster is here.
Kim's
Potato.
Kim's like half paying attention because she's rebuilding the carburetor for my.
I'm not even half paying. Sorry, everybody.
She's rebuilding the carburetor for my Zephyr.
I'm doing good stuff.
Zephyr sounds funny. I don't like that name a whole lot. Zephyr.
You could just call it the Mercury.
What the Mercury? That sounds like an old man's car.
You could call it the
Fox. I am an old man. Yeah, I'm an old man with a Mercury. You could call what the hell's wrong with me?
Call it the Fox body car.
What? Call it what? You
could just call it the Fox body car.
That Fox body you picked up could be a wolf in sheep's clothing with the right equipment. Yeah, no kidding. 1929 A-Bone pickup says that. Yeah, beginning of the. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Beginning of the stream, we were going over all the different engines and everything we could do to this. And right now, it's got that 6 in it, and it's it's a nice running engine. It's no funny noises, and it drives pretty nice, and the car's nice. There's no, it's a Central Texas car. There's not a spot of rust, bubble, anything anywhere. It's just like an Arizona car, no rust. Kim's over there taking bolts out. She's going, the bolts are coming out. Because she's from Pittsburgh, and bolts don't come out in Pittsburgh. They're rusted into place with, as somebody said in here, nature's Loctite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're terrible.
People are saying, hello, Potato Head.
Potato.
Hey, Dougster, I cut that potato and I planted it. I don't think it won't germinate. It had some little shoots coming off of it, but I don't think it made it. Tavo coming along well. Thanks, almost 100% back in service. That's Tavo's hand. Dougster, wonderful. Yep.
We didn't have the good mud for it.
Patrick Sullivan says, perfect sleeper. See, years ago, I had a 79 Fairmont Futura. Exact same car, really, except it says Ford on it instead of Mercury. And I got that thing. It was 4 years old. They'd been crunched in the front end, not badly. No bad damage. Just I had to put a fender on it and fix a grill. And the hood had a little on it, which I straightened. So I got it cheap. I got that car for $200 or $300. I think might have been $200. And it had a 4-cylinder Pinto engine in it, which I drove for a while. And then I built a 302 and a C4 and put that in there. And man, that thing was fast. And then of course I broke the rear end, so I had to fix that. And then that was a quick car. I enjoyed it. So I was really uh, I really that's really why I wanted this car, because it's such good memories with that Fairmont Futura. What's this? Yeah, perfect sleeper. Mike, and you done effed around and got old. Yeah, no kidding. At least I got old.
Yeah,
I got, I've got several friends. One of them, Rick Shea's in here, and he's like a couple months older than I am. His birthday, I think, is in October. So it is in October. So he's a few months older than me. So he's 71 now. I'm 70. I've got two other friends that have both turned 71. And all the rest of the friends that I had were young, that I hung around with, all my car friends. They're all gone. And so I got a few friends left. But yeah, time to do stuff before I'm one of the goners. Oh, those old DC-10s can still maneuver pretty good. DC-10 is an amazing handling airplane, but as an airliner, there were some problems. Let's see, Tahoe, not sure if it's a thing over there, but old people's cars here identified by a wide brim hat on their rear shelf. Man, yep, it came up in John Wilburn's live tonight. Somebody was wanting somebody to send him, somebody with a body Chrysler wanted one of the sun visors, and full width sun visor, and John didn't know what he was talking about, but I know exactly what he's talking about, because down under, all those cars have those full width external sun visors, which up here I remember old men had those things in like their 52 Dodge and stuff, like in when I was a little kid, the old men had those things on their car. And now it's a thing over in Australia, I guess. Call it a Z7. Sounds fancy. I don't know, Z7. It sounds like every other X car and Z car, like a Datsun
right.
240Z, and then later the Z.
It's a Z.
340Z or 380Z, whatever, 280, whatever the hell they were. I don't know. It's a Fox body brown. You need a Brody knob for that Mercury. No. It'll definitely be a geezer mobile. When I was a kid, that's right. Those external sun visors outside the window, and a Brody knob. And that's what all the old men had. That's exactly what all the old men had. My grandfather had that he had a 51 Dodge, just a two-door, maybe a four-door sedan. Don't remember which it was. It was gray. I remember that. And I rode in it. And it had a Brody knob and that external outside sun visor. The other thing they do in Australia, which is really strange, you never see it here, is in the station wagons on the back windows they put louvers, like from a house, but they're made for the car. They're small. That's I'm not surprised, Buff. I believe the potato processing plants coat them with something that prevents germination. I've planted potatoes that came from the store before, and it's worked. So I didn't know that. Huh. Cody Carr found an old person tissue box back window. 38 Racing. I'm hoping the weather cooperates this weekend. I get to play yard Tetris most of this weekend. Yeah, Tabo, I have one of those visors on the Ute, a mesh type, not solid blade. Both are just as popular. Patrick Sullivan, Chihuahua with the bouncing head. One time I had an old guy come in my shop. It was a radiator shop, and I guess it was something to do with the heater or something, because I got in the car, and he goes, get in, So I got in the driver's side, and there was a Chihuahua under the seat that bit my ankles. He came out and goes, bit me. I got bit by a dog. And he's yelling at the dog, and the dog's biting me, and I'm trying to get out of the car. He didn't really hurt me bad, but a little surprise.
You didn't want to get bit?
I didn't know that dog was under the seat. But he knew those weren't the right legs in there. Who's this guy? Let's see. I want a prism that you would put on the dash so you could see the light. Oh, remember those things? I remember that was they did that. That was a thing back east, I think. Indeed, I've seen a bunch of old square body Chevys with the visors. Oh yeah, they're doing that, aren't they? 38 Racing, the better half wants a visor here for the 59. On a 59, that's not going to look right. 59 looks like a rocket ship. They wouldn't put that on a rocket ship or a fighter jet. It looks like a fighter jet. Yeah. Tavo, not only wagons, those blinds are popular in sedans too. Really? Oh, across the back window, I guess. Yeah, I was thinking the wagons. I'd seen them on the sides and the back. Dougster, those are still available. Jim's Fastback Garage. Hey, how you doing? I plant potatoes right from the grocery store. They grow just fine. The ones I've done in the past, I did a bunch of them out in Arizona, and they grew just fine. I had those big Mexican pots. You know, there's I don't know if you know what I mean. They're big. I don't know what they're made out of. Same stuff to make tile for roofs out of. I think I had some of those big pots, and I had potatoes growing in all of them. And I had one. You know, this is Arizona. I had one that I planted the top off of a pineapple, and it grew a big old plant, and it grew a pineapple. So I had those going potted plants out in front of my house in the shade. You know, Jim's Fastback Garage. Hey, I'm gonna switch the camera here so you can see what I've got. Um, where's the thing? Here it is. Yeah, there you go. That's me back here. But Kim's got the carburetor off. It's all full of, as she says, turds. Oh, I'm cold, Kim. This heater's got to come forward. We got a heater under the table that's heating the table, I think, more than me. And for some reason, how's that furnace doing over there? That
It's pretty hot, actually. I don't know.
okay, because it's not getting warmer over here. Okay, I'm gonna take a walk for a second and not pay attention to chat. I got to go over there and see what's going on with this heater. But I'll leave that camera on. You're spraying stuff over here. Oh yeah, this sucker's hot. Okay, here's what we need to do.
Turning the camera.
We need to turn. We need to put this.
Sorry, everybody. You walked away.
This is not good either. The stupid cord isn't long enough. Maybe it'll work. Oh yeah, this thing's hot. It's just not doing us any good over there. Kim, that's a little tipsy, but so be careful when you go by.
Okay.
See what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm installing a lot of like flammable stuff over here near a fire.
I know.
Making me nervous. Yeah, so here it is. Put some light on the subject, maybe. This cord isn't long enough either. Oh yeah, it is. I don't know if that helps. I don't know if it's much to look at. 6 cylinder. It's a stock 6 cylinder. But I'll put some light on. Kim, why'd you go work over there? Tim left us. I don't know why. Oh, where's the... Okay, back to here. Let's see here. Dougster, man. Oh, she's a peach. What is this? It belong. I've lost some of the chat. I'm sorry. Oh, it belong in Tennessee. Grow potatoes in barrels. You know how when you plant potatoes, what if it's really cold out? I mean, shouldn't I be doing that? Because see, I plant them in a pot in the house, so it might be the problem. Patrick Sullivan was pulling a car in for service, placed the floor mat, steering wheel cover. This cat chewed through a box the owner had put. Box scared living. Yeah, okay. Man, one time, there's a couple things happen with animals. I was working in a wheel alignment shop, and my boss, who was really good at doing wheel alignments, he'd get one side set, get the camber set. It was a Ford truck, a twin I-beams, and he'd go around the other side and get it set, and then come back the first side, and it'd be wrong. So he'd adjust that side again. And then he'd go over to the other side, and it was wrong. And he was fighting it. And finally, he decided to open up I don't remember why he opened up the door of the car. There's a big old dog in there, and the dog was walking back and forth on the floor from one side of the truck to the other. So the truck is moving like this. Well, every time that truck moves, the camber changes, So that happened one time. One time I had a Dodge van in the shop, and I was doing radiator work, and the woman wanted me to rotate the tires while it was there. And I said, okay, I'll do it. So she says she wanted to rotate. Oh, I know what it was. She goes, there's two wheels with tires in the back, and she wanted me to swap out the back tires. So I went over there, opened up the back of that van, and there were two pit bulls in there that instantly went crazy, and I slammed the door shut. I called her. I go, what are you doing? I didn't know there were pit bulls in that van. And she goes, oh, they won't hurt you. I said, you can come get the wheels out for me. She came and got the wheels out for me. Imagine the mark all polished up. Just mucho shiny now. Yeah, this thing's actually in pretty good shape. The worst thing on the body is the original pinstripes are all, they were tape or something, and they're kind of corroded, or not corroded. They're just worn out. My God. Okay, I'm trying to keep it. I can see a Barra turbo engine planted in there. Well, you know what I'd like in there is a 351 Windsor or a 351, a stroker Windsor with a, I could do the cleaver, like where you put Cleveland heads on it, but why do I want to do that to that car, really? I'm thinking about all the old person's accessories, blind spot mirrors, those metal door visors, what else? Curb feelers.
You guys making fun of him.
When I was a kid, everybody had curb feelers. Like every car had curb feelers. That wasn't even an old person's thing. It was an old person's thing because the people that had curb feelers got old. But our 56 Ford had curb feelers on it. When you park, you'd hear them. Ting, ting, ting. You'd hear the ting, ting, ting noise on the curb. You knew you were right there. And it saved you from running your tires into the curb. But, yeah, Patrick Sullivan, those Hunter alignment machines make it stupid simple. Yeah, I always used, an alignment rack with hub gauges, and that's how I learned, because that's how it was. Yep, it's going to be ads in 1 minute, so in 1 minute, I'll be quiet for...
If you get an ad, let us know what it was about.
Oh, no, don't do that, because the ads they're targeted for what you watch on the internet.
If it's for something yucky.
Oh, yeah, compass. Yeah, a lot of people had compasses. Man, I know a guy built an airplane. He put an automotive compass in it, and the woman that did the final inspection on it wouldn't pass it because she says that's for a car, not for it's not an aircraft grade compass. And he goes, it doesn't matter. It says a compass. That's all the regulation says the compass. Because I could hang a thing up there you draw circles with, and you'd have to sign it off. Well, that made her mad. So then she wouldn't come back and reinspect the airplane. She made him take it apart and take it to her office, reinspected with the right compass in it. She got even with him. Okay, ads. Waiting for the ads. Waiting for the ads. Oh yeah, beaded seat covers. Hey, have you ever sat on beaded seat covers on a hot day? And especially like the old GM cars that had the crotch cooler air conditioners, where where it blew the air. And man, those things are great. Is it going to start tonight? I don't know. Kim's doing something with the carburetor. I don't know if she'll get it finished.
No.
And then if it's not finished, I'm not sure if I'd we're barely keeping the heat in here, and we'd have to open up the door. Boat anchor, fried okra. Is that okra? It says Oja. Okra. So let's see. State Police ball cap in the back window. 400 Ford buff. It fits. No 400 Fords. I don't know. I guess you can make those things run, but
is it really good?
Yeah, he meant okra because later you went K. I get it. Yeah, Dean Stevens, sure you do. Jim's Fastback Garage, 347. See, now you're talking because it's a small deck height in it. So that would be because my last one had a 302 in it that I built, and that thing was, yeah, what a fun car that was because they're not real heavy. But man, I got a friend up in Maryland's got a 347 in a Fox body Mustang. Oh my God, is that thing fast? That guy, he's one of those guys that knows how to build an engine, and got the right gears and the right, it's limited slip and everything. Man, he left work one day. He came back the next day and he was laughing. He goes, because he rarely drove that thing to work. He had some other Honda or something he drove to work. And he said, leaving, because there's a guy on the main road out there. He pulled up next to him and the light turned green. He took off and he got to the next light. The guy came up. The guy was in a Mustang GT, a newer one. And he beat him, and he looked over and he goes, what do you got in that thing? He laughed. He goes, that's 347. But he just ran away from a new Mustang GT, and the guy was kind of upset. See, down under, high market accessory in the 50s and 60s were roll down canvas blind on side windows. Wow. Dean Stevens said, nice 4x400 with 10.306 deck, Cleveland. Oh, you're talking about a short deck like a Cleveland, and you make it into a 400? Except, see, the guys I know, like Dallas is running that Cleaver engine. That's a pretty slick engine, and I know how to make the water jackets run. The Dougster front license plate that says here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Did they make stuff like that? Never heard of that. 38 Racing Buff. The best thing you should put on that car is miles. Yeah, now you're talking. Now you're talking. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat's here. Hello.
What's this carburetor's
just got out of the shower. Kim, did you want to know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she just
How
got
was it?
You know what? When I get to the house, I'm going to take a hot shower because this is, well, of course, moving the heater up closer to me helped a lot, but it's cold in here. That heater over there. Well, you know what happened is it got really cold outside. It was warm today, not warm, but
I'm surprised. The temperature in here dropped fast.
It dropped fast.
Man, did it.
So what is the temperature outside right now? It's 23 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's why it got cold in here.
That's why it got cold. Man. But see, tomorrow, it's supposed to be 53 during the day tomorrow. And 35 tomorrow night. So, warmth is coming. I think the Arctic blast is
can't get here soon enough.
Can't get here soon enough. How about those clip-on shaded visors? Man, you know how many times I've wanted one of those when I'm driving into the sun and like for an hour going across a desert and get the sun visor down all the way and it's not enough. If you sit up taller, then you can't see where you're going. And the flip lid sunglasses, nah. Patrick Silver, your personally created virtual reality created for you by Google. They own it all. Yep. Lexus ad and shipped ad. Dean Stevenson says a bunch of stuff here. I'm not what it's for. Patrick says Jim's Fastback Garage, the tinted ones or the yellow polarized ones. You know what I used to have that I really liked was I had prescription sunglasses that were really good, but that's expense. Dean Stevenson, there's so much room with the Z7 Fox. Yep. Yeah, it's actually a little more roomy up front than the Mustang because the hood's a little higher. Dougster, when rifle racks were outlawed in Michigan, you're allowed to have the rack, just no lead propulsion device in them. So old guy went to church with a rack with a cane collection on it. I mean, in high school, all the ag students, it was a big ag school. So all those guys had pickup trucks with rifles in the back, in the rifle rack. And the rifles were there. And they had lead propulsion devices in them. So, and nobody shot anybody.
It was a
How
different
did we
time.
get to this place? How did we get from that to this? Let's see. Jim's Fastback Garage. Patrick O. Grandma used polarized. Dean Stevenson on the hood with the Z7 thing, whatever he's saying there. Best place for a real hula girl. That Z7 thing, it flops forward when you stop because it's broken. And when you take off, it kind of works back and eventually it straightens out like back. So it's. Oh, Dean Stevens says, nope, 400 or 351 on tall deck. Yeah, those are enormous. They're heavy. Those things are heavy, aren't they? Patrick Sullivan, if you Bucktail Campo, if you can't tell, we're wanting to see you build the Zephyr. Just FYI. Doug, sir, I love a hot shower if it stings my skin while I shower. And I put my back against it. Oh, I get in the shower. First thing I do, my hands get so cold doing stuff. First thing I'm doing is like hottest water I can get on my hands. Man, and then I start to warm up. Got up to, Tim says, got up to 45 today, finally. Made a trip to Harbor Freight. Man, our Harbor Freight's gone. They said they were moving across town, and then they just moved out of one building and never moved into the other one.
And come back.
I miss that.
You didn't buy enough stuff.
Olive says, handy for bringing Swartz to. Well, Kim, what's that word? Up there, it's going to disappear from Olive. Swartz to Ren Fair. Oh, what's that? Those like, is that like a
Renaissance
fairs? That's what I was thinking. Oh yeah, they used to have those up in Ohio when I was up there. Or they probably still do.
Different places.
Yeah, I never seen them down here. This is one I caught. It was -5 the other morning. Yeah, 5 below. Isn't that fun?
No, it's
not.
Man,
You're out in the snow and it's like crunch, crunch, crunch.
Don't pretend like it's fun. It's not fun.
Well, you did a video 2 years ago here in your Dart.
Yeah.
And you went out there and it was 3 below zero. And she goes, this is a cold weather test. And she turned the key and it went, and she goes, this is a no-fly day.
No-fly situation.
And we went back in the house.
Yep. It was like, nope.
That was the Dart we just had in here with the old engine. Man, that thing had broken rings. She pulled the pistons out of that. The rings just fell off in pieces. They were broken. And we drove it to No Name Nationals like that. It ran fine, except it leaked oil.
It did leak oil.
Tim says tomorrow's going to be snow again. Yeah, Rocky Mountain High. Mike and Doug, when I was in high school, we would often drive our cars to school with hunting rifles in the back window. Yeah, same thing when I was in school. I didn't because I didn't have a hunting rifle, but there are a lot of kids that did. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't dare do that now. I was in South Dakota in 1965, and I was in sixth grade, and they had a class for everybody in the elementary school for gun safety because they knew kids were going to go out and go hunt with their parents. So you brought your rifle to school, and some of the teachers would volunteer, and they'd go in there, and you'd have this classroom with their kids with all their rifles and go through rifle, gun safety class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no more of that. I'd rather keep them out of sight anyway. Like, yeah, and AK-47 in the back window. No, that would have looked funny. I got rid of mine. I sold my AK. Oh, that's how important those kind of things were to me. I sold my AK. I never thought I'd do that, but I did.
We have other types of weapons if necessary, though.
Oh, we do have other weapons.
Don't think we've disarmed ourselves.
No, the only thing we disarmed our stuff was one rifle. Okay, let's see here.
I don't want people to think that we're
no,
down here in Tennessee without any weapons.
No, I looked at what I had, and I had a bill that had to be paid, and I went, Social Security's a bitch. Here goes the AK, and I sold it and paid the bill.
Man.
Yeah, that hurt. Let's see, small town Louisiana. Let's see, right, my uncle's on the competitive shooting team, and he would keep his lead propulsion devices in his locker at school. No big deal. Late 60s. Yep, 38 racing, and the doors were unlocked back in those days too. But yeah, nobody locked their cars. I used to leave my keys in my 56 Ford all the time. Everybody left their keys in their car in the town I lived in. Man, the guy I worked for, he had a 65 Ford pickup, and he always drove it to work. And he goes out there one day to leave, and his truck's gone. He always left the key in it, So he called the police, and the police came, took a report, and he got a ride home from his wife or something. So 11 o'clock at night, he gets a call from the police. They go, "We found your truck." He's like, "Okay, where is it?" And it was down the same street. It was about 3 blocks down from your shop, parked down there by the Anderson Hotel, which is the name of a hotel. And in the bottom floor, in the first floor of the Anderson Hotel, there was a barber shop. And so this guy he goes, "Oh yeah," he goes, "I drove down there to get my hair cut, and I forgot I drove, and I walked back up to the shop." So he was the one that stole his own truck.
He stole his own truck! Oh, man.
And it's sitting down there in front of the Anderson Hotel in the middle of the night with the keys in it, Jeez. Nobody drove off with it. It is a 65 Ford pickup then. This was like in 1971. It was a fairly new truck.
Man.
Yeah, different time. We really didn't mess with other people's guns. No, you had respect for that stuff. Dougster, what I do like is Renaissance Fair. We are living history. We represent the fur trade, 1800 to 1840. See, I've never been to one. I had a shop right up the street in Ohio from where the Renaissance Fair was, and I got a lot of business because I was doing airplanes, but I had a rack, and I had people come in. They'd have problems with their cars driving up the street. Looked like a shop. They'd pull in. I stayed busy when that was going on. Just fixing cars. Let's see, they have a Renaissance Fair here every year. Went last year and ran into the girl in Guinness Records for the longest legs. She's 6'10" tall. She's like you, 6'10". No, she's not 6'10".
I am not 6'10".
No, when I stand next to her, I feel like she is.
5'10".
She's like she's short, she's taller than me, and it's just like turn around and look at her, and it's like
I'm not that tall.
No, I know you're not that tall, but to me, I'm a little short. Shit, I'm 5'7". An armed society is a polite society. Yep.
That's right. People don't mess around because they know that
there's a woman I used to listen to. Maybe talk late night talk show people have listened to. Oh God, what is her name? I was gonna say I could just see her standing there. I can't think of it. Oh, she's funny as hell. She says everybody should be allowed to kill one person in your life, and everybody should carry a gun and be allowed to kill one person, and nobody knows if you've killed your person yet. She goes, everybody would be so nice. Nobody ever have to. Nobody would ever have to kill anybody because everybody would be nice to everybody.
I don't think that would work as well as someone thought, because it'd always be somebody like, how do you know I already killed somebody?
Let's see.
This is my first person.
Nowadays, you gotta cover them up with a blanket. Yeah. I never care for the AK in particular. I like my AK, but I don't know. I wanted one and I had it for a while. If I drove anywhere, the thing is, you keep it open in the car where it can be seen. You hide it, and then you got a concealed weapon. Let's see. Tim says the other night it was 14 below. The battery in my wife's Beetle froze. Ooh. Not good. You know, this Zephyr sat there 2 months, didn't start it. All that cold weather and everything. And Kim goes out there with a battery charger, electronic battery charger, and it wouldn't work. The reason it wouldn't work is because the battery was all the way charged up.
Battery was good?
And it cranked right up. You know, it just cranked. Yeah, it took me a minute to get fuel up from the tank, but
it was heckin' good.
That battery was really good. Officer, propels light emitting diodes. Oh man. It's an LED emitting device.
What?
Yeah, the neighborhood this Dougster says the neighborhood I grew up in, nobody locked their houses. That's how it was when I was young, but then people started locking.
As a kid, I didn't even have a key to my parents' house.
You didn't have a key, you just went home and walked
in. It was never locked.
It was never locked. Yeah. Just everybody had respect. Yep. None here in Georgia to speak of, but did some word fighting in Georgia. Word fighting. What is that? I don't know what that's from. Oh, sword fighting. It said word fighting, and I thought, what does that mean? It means sword fighting. Sounds like a level playing field. Delilah. Let's see. Now, the woman that I can't think of her name. Oh, she's been on talk radio for decades. What is her name? Can't think of it. I think she still does talk radio, like online on a talk radio on a radio, one of those online radio stations. Oh, I can't think of it. It'll come to me as soon as the chat's finished. It'll come to me when it doesn't matter anymore. Dougster, in the Netherlands, it's allowed to have a lead propulsion device and projectiles in your home. Really? Well, I know in Switzerland it is. I think it has to be locked up. It'd be long. My whole class had a rifle class in 9th grade. Central PA, 1977. Yeah, we did South Dakota. We did 66, 65. I was there at 65 and 66, and because I know when I was there, it was before hunting season in 65. Are you crying, loving, or shooting your one person tonight? Hippie Long, I was raised weapons or tools, not ones. All right. What? See, when I was in Scouts, we would often go to range while I was in summer Scout. You know, I went to a YMCA camp when I was the summer after 3rd grade, and yeah, we had a rifle range. We had a rifle range, and we had an archery Archery classes. No, not Dr. Joyce Brothers. No, nobody that sophisticated. Let's see here. Switzerland. Yes, thanks, Buff. Okay, yeah, it's Switzerland. Anyway, yeah, because I had friends from Switzerland, and so I knew that. Anyway, the idea of armed flight seems to overlook that there's no shortage of armed force a-holes. Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't Dr. Laura either. Wasn't a doctor. I just, God. I'm going to have to try to figure it out.
What do you have to figure out?
They're all trying to guess who this woman is. They'll never guess. Or they might. I
Guess
don't know.
who what is? I don't understand.
You aren't paying attention. Is the
Damn it. Trying to build a carburetor.
I know. So then you're asking stuff.
You're right. Just keep my mouth shut. Sorry, everybody. I'm distracted doing car stuff. I know that's crazy on a car channel. If we're not going to do car stuff, we might as well stream from inside. It's warmer in there.
No, it's not Delilah. I know who you're talking about there. Oh.
Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City?
I'll never find it on here. Because that's all I'm getting is Delilah. Because that's all it wants to tell me. Stupid AI.
Oh, what you do to me?
I don't know. My old brain won't always pull stuff up when I want it to. I used to be able to pull up everything, and now it doesn't work that way.
Now it doesn't work.
Well, I always remember, like, when it doesn't make any difference. Like, I'll come here, I'll tell her something. And she'll look at me like, what? I remember I was trying to remember that like 3 days ago. I wasn't Oprah's friend.
I don't remember.
Oh, now they're all going to guess and guess and guess and guess, and it's no.
But they want points, so this gives them the chance.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe we'll get some points this way. She's a couple years older than me, I think, but they she doesn't make a big deal of her age, but because of what she talks about and everything, I know that that's the case. I like Tim Hawkins' version of Delilah. See, I didn't even know about Delilah until you're all bringing it up, and I see it in there. I said, okay, that's what you're talking about. Let's see. But Carfarno, could dirt in the carburetor be from rubber fuel line breaking down from old age? It could be.
You know what though? It wasn't. It was dirt. It was like dirt.
I know where I can find it.
It was weird, but it was just like dirt, like actual, like dust got sucked into the engine and settled in the carburetor. It was pretty wild. Oh, what you do to me? Oh,
it just isn't. This is just not going to come up.
Oh, what you do to me? Oh, what you do to me? Oh, what you do to me?
Ah, stupid AI.
Dumb AI, darn it.
Well, it keeps coming up with the same person over and over and over and over and over.
Why? What are you searching? What are you using as your search term? Maybe if you try a different search.
Oh, you remember Kim Commando? Do any of you remember Kim Commando?
No.
Kim Commando was a talk show host, and she did it was when computers first started becoming, people were getting computers and going online, and she had a show that was all computer stuff. Oh, this sucks, man. Even my phone won't pull it. Boat Anchor says, I've been working on 2000 GTL. That's a very good radio, very good base station. Yeah, if I'd known you were selling those things. Uh-oh, Kim, something's going on with our screen. Max headroom problems.
Darn it.
Are you jittering the table?
Switch the cameras.
Switch the camera. I switched the camera. Now they're looking at our backs.
Okay, switch it back. See if that fixed it.
Hippie Long says her name was Kim Commando. That's another woman. That's not the one I was trying to think of. But yeah, Kim Commando was one I used to listen to. I back in the beginning of the computer days. Kim Commando, man, I never missed listening to Kim Commando. I don't know why I can't pull this name up. Yeah, it was green. Like Ann said, flash green for a second. Yeah, it went all green and flash and max headroom kind of stuff. I don't know what the hell.
Sorry, guys. Is it okay now? Seems okay now. Probably
All it
frozen.
says, you get past the Google homepage or use something else, it should bypass the AI spew. Well, I looked at the AI spew and it was wrong. Dean Stevenson, Steve Latos, robot voice lady. Oh, you know what? I started to watch that live he did, or maybe it wasn't a live. It was just an interview with her, and I got it sitting there in the queue on my computer, and I want to watch that because I didn't get to watch it yet. What did she talk about on the show? Oh, mostly oldies kind of music and art. Music. Groups and artists, and she touch on politics a little bit, but mostly not. Ah, just can't pull it out of my dead brain.
I can't believe no one's come up with it. It's going to be worth a lot of points by the time someone.
What's this? Don't shoot elephants. I don't care if some prince tells you to. What's this? All this stuff about shooting elephants in here. What's this? I don't know what this is. I have like several comments here about shooting elephants. I don't know what that is. Dean Stevenson, if an artist formerly known as Prince asked you to take out an elephant, say no. Boat anchor says, "What base do you have?" Okay, it's a Yaesu FT707 that's been modified. Do you know what that is? You can look it up so you see exactly what model it is. Um, Man, it just bugs me. I can't pull that up. I just can't pull it up out of my dead brain. Patrick Sullivan, he's gone. If he was to ask, I'd freak out. Rest in peace. Let's see. Okay, Kim,
Yes.
can you pay attention to chat for a couple minutes?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna see how that fire is doing because it is not warming up in here. Well, it's come up 1 degree. That's not much.
It's not much.
And we have a hot fire.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing ripped roar hot.
Buff, how many miles are on the Zephyr?
108.
108,000 original miles. It's dusty because of Texas. Yeah, I think so. I think the Texas has dustied it to the point of maximum dustiness.
Well, that is a very hot bucket. Okay, I moved the fan a little closer. I cranked the fan up to the middle notch instead of the low notch. You know, I feel warm air going past it. So how many miles? Jim, it's dusty because of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
This one I got pew-pews. Anyone guess if you can? You need to go to you win. Bring a prize. You can all read that. Boat anchor. What do you do? It's summer in the shop. You have a fan. Oh, Kim went to some scratch and dent place and bought an air conditioner.
A big one that goes in the window.
It's a window air conditioner. It's a pretty big one. And you know what? It doesn't make it that much cooler in here, but you know, it's really humid in the summer and it just knocks the humidity down. So it's really comfortable in here. When you walk outside, it's like, whoa, you hit the humidity again, you know?
Oh, yeah, it helps
So,
a ton.
so in the summertime, we have that AC unit running. And
there's nothing worse than
doesn't-
trying to work on a car and having sweat drip down your face.
it really doesn't run our electric bill up all that much, you know?
No. Like
Mike says, I'm gonna guess this talk show host. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a hint. She lives up in the mountains in somewhere in Arizona right now, and she has a radio station it's an AM radio station that's all oldies, and she goes, the only reason I have that is it's my hobby. And she goes, I play the music on there I like so I can listen to it when I'm in my car. But I can't think of her name. But she's on internet, worldwide kind of stuff. And she's been on a lot of radio stations for years and years and years. She was back you're Pittsburgh, not she was on a Philadelphia station for many years. She guest hosts for Art Bell sometimes. That's where I first heard her. She was a guest host for Art Bell. And man, I cannot think of her name. Yeah, you can imagine the kind of stuff she talked about there. She was a shoe-in for Art Bell. Talked about, had the same guests on the kind of stuff he did. It was pretty good. Not quite as good as Art Bell. I mean, he was the master, but she could do the show. Paul says, I still like the oldies. Everything else my folks played when I was a kid was dismal. You know what? This woman, the oldies she plays are mostly late 50s and early 60s stuff. So she talks about when she was in school and what songs she was listening to and all that. I'm guessing she's 2 or 3 years older than me. And her husband's a radio guy too, but I think he's more of a, she did not buy Art's radio station. She bought that AM station up in the mountains in Arizona. If I can find the name of the town, I'll probably see it. I'm going to look at a map. If I see the name of the town, you'll be able to go there and find the radio station. You'll probably find her then.
Somebody Google search for Arizona oldies radio station. Maybe that.
Where the hell is she? She's like in Globe or Sholo or somewhere up there. No, everybody keeps saying Delilah. That's what the stupid AI say. Delilah. That's all it's all. No, not Karen Jackson. I didn't know her. I think I only listened to Art Bell for maybe a year. Okay, remember Art Bell had a problem with his son. Well, his son had a problem with somebody, and Art Bell flaked out and just he had to take care of his son. I mean, something terrible happened to his son. So Art was taking care of his son. So he had some filling in artists, and she filled in for him for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And that's when I got to know her. And that's when I got to know who she was. Well, I called her several times, and I've talked to her for hours on the phone. But now I can't think of her name because I'm a dumbass. Uh, KJAA. Raleigh James. Her name is Raleigh James. Rollye. Raleigh James.
I award you.
I guessed it because I found. You know what I did? I found the radio station that had her name on it.
Well, I award you 2 points for remembering. But you did bitch the whole way. Man, there was a lot of complaining.
There's a lot of complaining. Wolfman Jill, Karen Jackson. I don't. I don't know her. I think I only listened to Art Bell for maybe a year or so around '01. Art was still there, and that other guy. Yeah, Raleigh James. Raleigh James is still on. I mean, I just don't listen to her much anymore. There's so much on YouTube that I've kind of moved over to YouTube. But I could, now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't mind listening to her again. I might, she'll be on some internet radio station. Yeah, I've got one of those little radio things where you get every radio station in the world, on the internet. I'll just search that and find her. The last thing I knew, she was still doing like a 3-hour show at night, maybe in Philadelphia or somewhere. But then it would just you'd hear it live, but then it would play over and over like for the next 24 hours. So if you missed it, you could listen to it.
Where'd the little baggie go that you had all the? Oh, never mind.
Good deal. I do that often. When the name pops in mind, I say it out loud, and I did. I wouldn't have says I would have guessed her eventually. Mike Hen says that. Man. Kim, I think you came up 2 more degrees. Maybe the fan's helping. I don't know.
Well, just staying after it's helping, which is crazy because it's cold. It's getting colder outside, so
yeah. Kim is
staying on top.
KJ Kaya says Kim is laser focused tonight. Yeah, I can tell because she's not paying attention to chat. She's paying attention to what she's doing. She is so like into what she's doing. It's like I'm just like background noise.
I'm trying to make the darn car run. It was running so bad. He was stuck in the yard trying to pull it in the.
Yeah, George Norrie took over. George Norrie was there for a while. Who's there now? Is that still George Norrie? I can't even, after listening to Art Bell, I mean, Art Bell was just, he was the master. So anybody after that is just not so good. Yeah, George Snorri. I've heard that before because after Art Bell, he was just, yeah, he's the same kind of stuff, but not Art Bell.
Man.
Dean Stevenson, Rochelle Raleigh James. What'd you do? Pull this out of AI? Rochelle. I never heard. I know her. I never heard anybody call her Rochelle. Raleigh James is an American radio talk show host. She hosted the Raleigh James Show nationally and on international shortwave on WWCR from 2000 to 2011. Raleigh revived her show broadcasting. Yeah, that looks like some. I never heard that first name. She has talked about her mother named her Raleigh and how she didn't like the name, but then she went along with it. And so I never knew her real name was Rochelle. I have talked to it's like I kind of know her. I mean, it's been years. It's when I was living out in Arizona. We'd get on the phone and talk for like an hour, and she's I never knew that. That's pretty funny. 5'11" did Kim play sports in school? She played football a little. And what else did you play, Kim? Baseball.
No, I never played baseball.
Oh, I thought you played baseball.
No,
She,
played football some.
she played football some.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
That was my favorite sport to play.
It wasn't all whacker jobbery then. Several flakes, though. Yeah, Raleigh just had, she could do the Art Bell thing, okay, but she did her own thing, and her own thing was mostly oldies radio. And in fact, she does a show every year on like the New Year's Eve. She'll do like the 100 worst records from the 50s and 60s, and that is such a good show. And she plays little, and there's like a countdown. Who got the most, like you could make a nomination. She starts the thing about a month early, and you make a nomination, and then people vote. What's the worst, worst hits of like the late 50s and into the 60s? And that shows a riot. Uh, I don't use AI. It's always wrong. I use Google's second hit, but yeah, that's what I do. When I do Google, the first thing I do is I just scroll past that because it's always wrong. Yeah.
It's not always wrong.
She says it's not always wrong. You read that crap?
Always wrong.
No one won. That's right. No one won because I don't get points.
We all lost.
We all lost because I could.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your souls.
Did you see where somebody? Oh man, it's just one of those things that happens on. I guess I can't really talk about it here. An oldie show that plays some deeper cuts would be good though. Oh, she didn't really play. She was a talk show, and she'd play little snippets of oldies, and they talked about all the different artists. The church pews go missing. It was me. Because we're talking about pew pew. Remember Dr. Demento? Yes, I do. Yeah. Olive says AI is wrong more than enough to disregard it.
Yeah, it's really good at finding the wrong answers.
Well, what's bad about AI, I think it learns from itself.
They're saying that.
I think when people get on there and they well, what's worse is it learns from other things on the internet. There's all the, how forums are. You get on a forum, there'll be thousands of people on a forum. There's about 3 or 4 or 5 on there that really know their shit, and the rest of them are full of shit. So, and it learns all that. It's just terrible. Yeah, he's off his face somehow. 85% wrong. AI fail. Yeah, they're really talking up AI, But if you were in school and you were 85% wrong, what would that be?
I don't think it's 85%.
Yeah, failure. I don't know. Maybe nobody fails anymore, so that's why AI is okay.
That's right.
That's one thing. We lived in Ohio, and nobody ever failed in school. Not when I went to school. I went to school in California many, many years ago. But my youngest son, and we came down here. He didn't like it at first, but after a while he liked it. But here, if a kid didn't do well in school, they'd fail. They'd get to take the class again. And up in Ohio, that was going to hurt their self-esteem. And
in Ohio?
Yeah.
In California?
No, in Ohio. Well, when I was in California, it was like 1950s. I was in school in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s. So it was different in California then. So in Tennessee, the mantra is a bunch of hillbillies here, and uneducated hillbillies. And the reality is, man, those kids get out of high school here and they all went to the universities and they got in. It's like my kid scored real high on testing and went right into university and was a 4.0 student all the way through. It's like, wow. Really do like some AI voices. Only 85% of them are me. I'll put on something that looks interesting and I'll put it on. It's an AI voice. Click, I'm out right there. That's it. I'm done. Art Bell seemed to gravitate towards drama. His son was kidnapped. Yeah, and it was bad. That the sexual allegations. Yeah, the guy ended up getting life imprisonment. He had a bunch of Asian wives. Well, I think two of them are divorced. One of them died. Uh, yeah, something happened. She died, and then he was very distraught over that. But a few months later, somebody introduced him to a woman from the Philippines, and he ended up marrying her. And they were married when he died. I don't know. Yeah, I know people say things like that. It's hard to say, but I think not. Yeah, his son had a very traumatic experience, and the guy that created the problem ended up serving life in prison. But Art Bell as far as talk show goes, it was great. I don't know. I think rumors about I think somebody like that. Yeah, he got married real quick. Like it was a couple months. Somebody introduced him to somebody else a couple months later. Ramona died from. I can't remember what happened to her. Yeah, she died. The guy's wife dies, and he's famous, and then here come all the rumors, and I don't know. I tend to think that it was a bunch of rumors around a famous guy. If anything had, if there was any truth to that, the police would have been all over it. They love stuff like that. Go get some famous guy.
Everything's falling down.
Everything's falling down. What are you doing over on that side of the car?
Putting the coil back on.
Oh, you had the coil off?
Yeah, you have to take the coil off.
Oh, to get the carburetor off.
Do you know why?
Oh, Mel's hole. Yeah, Mel's hole. Well, Raleigh James was talking about that, and she's laughing, and because her audience, a lot of them were listening to Art Bell, and she would say, "There is no hole." She was like, but Art never said there was Mel's hole. He just had Mel on, and they would they discuss it, but Art was great at getting somebody to he just make it so they tell more of the story, embellish it a little bit more, and he was a master at that. It was funny, but then Raleigh was like, "There is no hole." Well, that guy supposedly he had well, you can imagine all the people that wanted to go see Mel's hole. That guy he left the U.S. and moved to Australia to get away from it. Oh man, Mel's hole is interesting. See, Mel's hole, Kim, was a hole in the ground where people threw garbage and stuff, and there was no bottom. They threw washing machines in there and old stoves, and it never hit the bottom. And then he said he had like fishing line, like 8 miles of fishing line with a camera on the end or something. Yeah, some nonsense like this. And a dog fell in there. And years later, the dog was walking around again somewhere. Oh my god! I think Mel was full of shit. He was, but he was
He was entertaining.
he was entertaining, and it was really good entertainment on. And Art would just play him, you know. Art, Art would say things that Mel would just say more. It was good stuff. Well, yeah, a lot of his a lot of his guests were full of shit. Well, a lot of them are, had seen aliens and they had been in flying saucers and the kind of stuff that Art did. It's like getting to the bottom of Oak Island. I don't even know what Oak Island is.
Did they ever? I think it's just that whole thing is just
What?
the Oak Island.
Oh, I don't even know what Oak Island is.
I always see stuff about like there's the people who own Oak Island. Supposedly there's buried treasure, and it's all trapped down in holes, and it was put
Oh,
there by
I don't
the
know.
Knights Templar and the whole
Oh,
thing.
it says I recently heard about this story elsewhere. I kept trying the same thing in other places. That may have been, that may have been Mel. I don't know. Nothing exceeds like Ed says. Well, I was pretty good at that stuff. I wish I had that talent he did.
All right,
Treasure Yar. Okay, all right, what?
it's all back together.
It's all back together?
Yeah.
Now I want to start it, but it's so freezing cold out there, I don't want to open the door for the exhaust.
Yeah.
And it'll exhaust up in here so fast.
Yeah, not so good.
Mike says the calls would always get cut off. What calls would always get cut off? Calls would always get cut off.
Art Delphos calls with that guy who was
I don't know. Well, Art would, yeah, he'd get to the point where he wouldn't let somebody talk forever. He'd just like, okay, call is over. Right, you gotta do that. There was another show I used to listen to years ago, the Nightcaps, and they would the limit was 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, they'd start getting a tone, a little song playing in the background, just a little musical thing going, and that meant it was time to wrap it up. And so that's how they Dean Stevenson, the aliens calling from Area 51. Well, Art Bell, he was out there, Kingdom of Nye. He was out there in Pahrump, Nevada, which is pretty close to that whole Area 51 thing. So that's him. Missed most of the sensational stuff or disregarded it. Yeah. Well, the thing with Art Bell is he'd come on. It was an all-night show, and he did it 6 days a week, all night. No talk show host does that much and that much content, and he was interesting. He was entertaining. I don't know where the guy had the energy to do that. Most talk show hosts will go an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and not 6 days a week. There would be some in calling inside Area 51. They'd always, oh yeah, there was somebody that was in an airplane flying over Area 51 one night, and Art was trying to talk him into not flying over there. The guy's full of shit, probably. Oh, says my input tended to be brief or just a fact to leave with the phone operator, which should often be relayed. Oh, so you called? Well, that's the phone operator. With Art Bell, Art Bell didn't have a call screener. He answered his own calls cold. You never knew who you were going to get. He did not have a call screener. Every other talk show host has a call screener. And if there was a nut job on there, that somebody that was going to cause problems, he'd just click them right off, of course. And there was a delay. There was like a 4 or 5 second delay. And he might say, don't do that again or something, don't call and apologize and then go on to the next call. Because most talk show hosts, the call screener figures all that out ahead of time and hands the call over to the talk show host. Patrick Sullivan, my mind manipulation from radio, Orson Welles, TV, and now the internet. They've crafted it to a science. Orson Welles, man, that's crazy stuff. That was before I was born, but my parents knew about all that. You know about Orson Welles? He did a talk show on the radio, like a news broadcast, and everybody believed it. The Martians were landing.
Yeah.
You know about that.
Yeah.
And people believed it.
Wasn't he just reading from the book that H.G. Wells
I don't know.
wrote, War of the Worlds?
I don't know.
Orson Welles? That's probably the wrong word.
Probably the wrong one. Yeah, I don't know. It was before much of the web searching habits. I thought it was. Not on air anyway. Oh, okay. So, is it getting any warmer in here? I think it kind of steadied out about 55 degrees in here. Let's get a car update from Kim.
Oh,
Yeah, we got off the car thing really, really bad tonight.
The
Sorry, everybody.
carburetor is installed.
Oh, well, we can look at it. You move this thing so I can't see it.
Do you guys want a close up on the carburetor?
Yeah, maybe you can do a close up on it to show that it's there. Yeah, Kim was just like working like crazy instead of being over here, but that's kind of what she does when we're here.
I got so much goop out of that carburetor.
What's the to-do list on the Fox Body? Well, we brought it in here to do the heater, but Kim pulled the carburetor off because it was running. Well, it ran fine once it warmed up. That is way out of focus.
Give it a second.
Okay. I didn't know if you knew. Oh.
Can't see the screen.
Oh, because you don't have your glasses or something.
Got it.
Ah.
There's the carburetor.
So, okay.
Carbonator.
Yeah, the carbonator. So we need to do the heater core. That's the bitch of a job that's next. So that's why we brought it in here. But then it was running terrible. It was running terribly in the cold until it warmed up. Then it ran fine. But when it was cold, you couldn't even put it in gear just quick. So Kim decided to take the carburetor apart. So maybe it's fixed. What about the Dvornikofer? The choke.
Yeah, what did we do? What did I do? Did I disconnect the choke entirely or something?
I think it was partially closed on a hot day in Texas. So you just twisted the thing so it was wide open. So we don't know if it was working because wherever it was set, the choke was it was like it wasn't pulling off.
Okay, well, it's cold. I might as well set it so that it's at least close to doing something.
Oh, the golf tee plug is classic. Oh yeah, golf tee plug.
Oh yeah, you gotta love them.
That was in there, and we used it on the way home because it had who was it? What was his name? The giant sucking sound. Who was the guy that ran for president? Now somebody will answer that and get a point. The giant sucking sound, the third party candidate.
Ross Perot.
Ross Perot.
I got it.
So that's like, yeah, Kim got it. Kim got the point. Okay, so
my butt hanging out.
Your butt's hanging out. No, it isn't. So that golf tee went into the thing with the giant sucking sound. Have to pull the dash to swap the heater core. Yes, and this is a pain in the ass heater core because it's a factory air unit and the book gives. I remember this because from doing these jobs when I had radiator shop. The book gives 8.3 hours, and I say you can't do it in 8.3 hours. Somebody in here says they can do it. Somebody in here says they can do it in less than 8 hours, but I don't remember who it was. Somebody in here was. Oh, I don't remember where that was.
I don't know if we should pay them.
Yeah, well, people that can do it less than 8 hours. I had mechanics do these in less than 8 hours, and when they're done, they hand you a handful of hardware and clips and stuff. You go, wait, what's that? Well, that's the stuff you can't get back in. Like, that's bullshit. You did a shitty job, is what you did. You know that the people are going to go out and drive this car, and there's going to be rattles, and get rid of that guy.
Where's the choke wire?
That's what I think. That tube that's missing, it comes up from the exhaust manifold that heats it. Isn't there a tube? Isn't there like
an electric choke?
It is electric?
It's got one, yeah.
Yeah, Ross Bro. The choke pull down is set via MIDI vac with vacuum applied to position A on the Vecchi diagram. Dean Stevenson.
It's got a choke pull off, but it doesn't have an electric choke. See, look, it's got a wire for the electric choke. So if it has power, it'll pull.
See this?
Yeah.
That's where it sucks the warm air in from here. There's a tube that goes up there.
What do you do with that tube?
I don't think we ever had the tube. Oh, ting, why'd this thing ting on us? Why'd the computer ting on us?
I can't get in the car. The door's stuck.
The door's locked on that side.
Locked on this side.
Oh, okay, well, maybe the key will work on this side. You're going to get in on the other side.
I'm just going to fall.
Oh, these keys are freezing. Oh, my keys are made out of dry ice. I work carefully but can't achieve fast. Unless there's something I can do most mechanics can't because of skinny hands. Well, you know what? When I have mechanics that would leave parts out because you can't get those screws back in, that was the last job they did for me. That was back when you could fire people. Does the exhaust have a giant catalytic converter at the manifold? I don't know. Is there one at the manifold, or is it way down under the car?
I think it's under.
I don't think this one does, but I'm not sure.
No, it does not.
It does not. Let's see here. Buddy Carfano, it's a 10 to 12 hour job if you put all the screws back in and don't break any plastic panels. Yep, and everything's old, and it's cold, and I'm worried about that. KJ Kiley, is the vacuum line on the choke pull-off? There's like every vacuum line in the world undone and got golf tees in them. Oh, I'm cold. I'm sitting here with an electric heater between my legs.
I think we're going to have to be done.
Yeah, Kim's about had it.
It's not getting warmer.
We are fighting the cold.
We've been at it for a couple of hours. I think that we made good progress.
You did a lot. You got that carburetor all cleaned out. Mm-hmm. Yep. What time is it? We've been on for. What time did we come on? 9:15. 9:15, right?
Yeah.
So what are we on? Like 2.5 hours? 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Also, is quite right, Buff. Sometimes people are like, we got to pull the manifold to change that sensor. I'm like, maybe not. Stinking fingers in there and stuff. Well, something like, you can imagine something like this where you got to pull limited space under there, and there's a lot of stuff and not designed to be pulled back out again. And there's clips and screws, places where they're almost impossible to get. But I don't want to have a customer's car and not put stuff back in. And I don't want to do that to this car either. And I just know it's not going to be fun. But a car product 10 to 12 hours. Yeah. When one of these things that come in, any Fox body with air conditioning, I actually quoted high enough that I'd hope they take it somewhere else. But if I got the job, I'd tell them I want the car for 2 days. Jim's Fastback Garage. It's time for the shower, Buff. Good night, all. Hey, Jim's. Hey, thanks for a little conversation in your comments there. I appreciate it. Talking about the Windsor in your Fox body. Boat anchor. I've been in and out working on a 2000 GTO. Oh, since I get it, Buff, doing it properly is doing it properly. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to send a car out with a customer, I don't want to leave fasteners out of it. That's just wrong. Kim, you want to come over here and for a minute? She's sucking on a vacuum line. I guess you can see that, huh? Could they see that? Could you see that? She's over there sucking on a vacuum line.
No.
You want to wipe your lips off? This 1978 vacuum line in her mouth, sucking on it.
It's lovely.
What year range on the Fox body was the heater core swap nightmare? What year range?
Which years had that bad heater core problem?
The Fox body came out in 1978. This is the first year for it. One of Fox bodies run up till, I don't know. They were still making them when I got out of the car business. The Carvana shop did one in Aunt's car dash, made rattling noise when she got it back. Yeah, because they didn't put all the fasteners back in. You know that's what happens. Okay, Kim. I wanted you to come over here. Help say goodnight.
That's why I came over. Thanks, everybody, for the conversation tonight. It was. I know I'd seemed very distant, but I was like listening and.
See your hand. Oh, I was going to put your hand on my nose so you feel how cold it is, but your hands are colder than my nose.
I know. We got to go get warm.
We got to go get warm.
We don't want to get sick. But we'll be back tomorrow doing more stuff. I don't know if we're going to be live again tomorrow, but we'll be doing more work. Maybe we'll go live in the afternoon when it's not so damn cold.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know, but we're on to something different, and that's good.
Yeah, there's no Dodge Dart here. There's a Fox body here.
Yeah, and amazing. I have the video of us working on the cams.
She's going to get that done.
I have all the footage now, but it's going to take me another day or two to get it all finalized. So I'll be working on it. You guys will be able to look forward to that in a couple more days. Before Tuesday, I swear, I'll have it done. And it'll be on this channel.
Dean says all this about the Fox, the SN95 and all that. I got out of the business, so I got onto aircraft, so I never was under the dash any of the newer ones. So I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't any better. Nothing was any better.
It never got better. It only got worse. Oh.
Okay. Good night, everybody.